Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, the home of the University of St. Francis, who in Game 1 of today's doubleheader will be the visiting team against the Trojans of Trinity International University. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna with you for a doubleheader. Saints come to bat first, and we're ready to get started in the ball game here. Leading things off for St. Francis is Alex Martinez. He swings and misses for strike one, and we're underway. 1:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Charlie McTammany, the freshman, is starting on the mound for Trinity International out of Memphis, Tennessee. The right-hander winds up for the 0-1 pitch and misses the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alex Martinez leads things off for the Fighting Saints today, the third baseman. He'll be followed by Nate Maliska at first base and center fielder Eric Maffey. I'll get you the rest of the starters in just a moment. First, the 1-1 pitch. Misses the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Batting cleanup for St. Francis today is the DH Josh Kernbauer. Brian Hidalgo hits 5th at shortstop. Batting 6th, right fielder Gio Pappas. Dan Gusel is behind the plate. Alex Milcars bats 8th at second base, and batting 9th, left fielder Jake Vera. Martinez lifts one out to right field, routine for Julius Torres, who makes the grab and retires the first batter of the ball game. We'll have video for you shortly. 1 out in the top of the first inning. St. Francis playing as the visitors on their home field only for the first 7 innings today. Game 2 will be a 9-inning affair, and that will feature the Fighting Saints as the home team, with Trinity International playing their natural role of visitors. Nate Maliska, right-handed hitting first baseman, stands in. The freshman takes ball 1 outside from the fellow freshman, Charlie McTammany. McTammany for Trinity International today, starting for just the second time this year. It's his 7th appearance overall. He's 2-1 with a 6.23 ERA. There's a line shot to the right side off the glove of second baseman Alfonso Gomez and into right field. Maliska is aboard with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. He is the game's first base runner. We'll wait to get a signal on that as to whether it's a hit or an error. It was a hard hit ball from Maliska, tailing away from the second baseman Gomez, but certainly playable for Gomez. It hit off his glove, and he couldn't quite pull it in. It is a hit for St. Francis. 1 out single for Maliska. Here's Eric Maffey taking ball 1 high. McTammany this season coming in had pitched 13 innings, allowing 13 runs, 9 earned on 20 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 6 walks for the first-year right-hander. 1-0 on Eric Maffey, coming off of a huge day at the ballpark on Tuesday, the last time the Saints were in action. Pickoff throw to first sends Maliska diving back to the bag. Maffey hit 3 home runs as part of a doubleheader against Indiana South Bend on Tuesday afternoon, right here at this ballpark. On the season, he's leading the team with a .350 batting average, 13 long balls, 40 runs batted in. He takes ball 2 from McTammany and is now sitting pretty in this at-bat. 2 balls and no strikes. Another beautiful day in Joliet. Warm temperature into the 80s for the first time on a game day this year. There's a swing and a fly ball to left field. It's deep, backing up off the glove of Lazarus. It lands on the warning track. Maliska heads to third base, and Maffey pulls up at second. Another hard hit ball by a Fighting Saints, and again off the glove of a Trinity defender. And the Saints have been swinging the bats well this inning, but they've also gotten the benefit of some shaky defense on the opposite end. That goes as an error on Lazarus, the left fielder for Trinity International, and they are at second and third with only 1 out for Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer is the DH in this game. .306 batter this year. A good RBI chance in the top of the first. He takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0. Kernbauer's got 2 homers, 10 runs batted in this year. A base hit could potentially add 2 to his RBI total for the season. Maliska's at third. Maffey is at second base. And McTammany is in a world of trouble before his offense even gets their first chance at bat. 1-0 on Kernbauer. He swings and pops it foul off to the right side, out of play. Count evens up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Meliska reached on a line drive to second base that hit off the glove of Gomez. And then Maffey reached after that on a deep fly ball that hit off the glove of the left fielder Lazares. Kernbauer takes low, 2-1. Not that neither of the first two batters earned their way on, but they both got a little help as well. Kernbauer's trying to eliminate any confusion and smack a solid base hit to drive in a few runs. That is a line drive hit solidly to center field and over the head of the center fielder Popovich. 2 runs will score easily here. Kernbauer rounds second, heads to third. The throw comes in just a little bit late. It's a triple for Josh Kernbauer. And the Fighting Saints lead 2-0 in the top of the first inning. RBIs number 11 and 12 this year for Kernbauer. That's the second triple. And 7th extra base hit on his stat sheet this year. And McTamaney is not getting any help here. Still just 1 out and another man in scoring position. No relief here as Brian Hidalgo steps in. Hidalgo takes ball 1 outside. Brian Hidalgo's a .289 hitter, a homer, 20 RBIs. 3 straight base runners for the Fighting Saints. All 3 of them hit the ball hard. All 3 of them benefited from a porous defensive play as well. The Meliska line drive hit Gomez's glove. The Maffey fly ball hit off the mitt of Lazares. And that time Kernbauer's line triple to center field. As this one gets away from the catcher and allows Kernbauer to come in to score. It's a wild pitch, and it's 3-0. 2-0 on Hidalgo. The bases are now empty. What I was about to say was that Kernbauer's line drive to center field was misplayed by Popovich. Brady Popovich may not have had a chance to catch that ball, but he took a really tough angle at it, made it a more difficult play than it originally would have been, and turned what may have been a single or a double into an easy triple. Strike called on Hidalgo. It's 2-1. 3 straight have reached after a leadoff flyout. 2-1 offering to Hidalgo. Downstairs, ball 3. So now all of a sudden, McTamaney's having problems with control. 10 balls thrown this inning. Only 7 strikes. Hasn't walked anyone yet. But it is 3-1 on Hidalgo. He swings and grounds it off the pitcher's mound. It deflects over to the right side. Picked up by Gomez. Off balance throw to first is in time. Nice play by Gomez. I don't know if that ball hit McTamaney or not. I don't think it did. It took a weird hop. But I believe that's because it hit the mound, not his glove. The mound, like everything else here at Dooley Health and Care Field, is artificial. In fact, that ball looked like it might have hit the seam on that artificial mound. And that might have been part of why it took such a weird bounce. But well played by Gomez for the out. 2 away as Gio Pappas hits a foul ball for strike 1. 3-0. A rousing start for St. Francis. Remember, the Saints are the visiting team here in Game 1. They'll be the home team in Game 2 of the doubleheader, a late restructuring of the schedule. Tomorrow's doubleheader was moved to today, so Trinity gets their chance to be home game for 2 of this 3-game series. That was the original schedule, and that's how it'll play out. The only game actually played at Trinity in this series will be tomorrow. Ball on Pappas to even the count 1-1. That 0-1 count was the first time that McTamaney has been ahead of any hitter since it was 0-1 on the leadoff batter. Ball and a strike on Pappas. He takes below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Trinity International will come to bat in the bottom of the first inning for the first time. Julius Torres will lead off for them. I'll give you the rest of their lineup in just a moment. You've met quite a few of their players already on the defensive side. Pappas takes ball 3 outside, 3 straight misses from McTammany. Blake Lazaris is the left fielder batting second. Number 3 hitter is shortstop Jonathan Kumai. Ethan Escroba is the designated hitter. He's also the cleanup bat. 3-1. Pappas hits a foul ball. Full count. Batting 5th for Trinity today, third baseman Riley Murphy. Catcher Jimmy Cisneros hits 6th. Christian Soria is the first baseman. Brady Popovich bats 8th in center field, and hitting 9th is second baseman Alfonso Gomez. Payoff pitch to Pappas. Foul ball off his foot. Still 3-2. Next pitch will be the 25th of the inning for the freshman Charlie McTammany, again making just his second start of the year. It has not been an easy frame for him, made even harder by the defense behind him. One of his 3 runs allowed was unearned. Another foul ball hit by Pappas. He'll see an 8th toss in this at-bat. 2 of the 3 runs against him have been earned here in the first inning. Gives him a 27 ERA for the day so far, but he could drop that down to 18 if he gets this out. Another 3-2. Deep fly out to left field. Back goes Lazaris at the wall, and he's out of room. Home run, Gio Pappas. An absolute missile off the right fielder's bat. And St. Francis extends their lead. 4-0 the score after the big long ball. For Gio Pappas, that is home run number 2 this year. His 11th RBI. And the Saints' run of success continues in the top of the first inning. That run is also unearned against McTammany. Dan Gusel steps in. First pitch to him, taken for a strike. Saints have been on a roll of late. So far, so good today, and keeping on that roll. They're trying to win their 5th consecutive game. They have swept 2 doubleheaders already in the last 5 days. Today, they might have a chance for 3 doubleheader sweeps in a week. Ball low on Gusel, 1-1. Dan Gusel sitting 292. 1 home run, 1 RBI. Starting his 16th game of the season. Junior transfer from College of DuPage. Swings and he drives one out to left field. Another no-doubter for St. Francis. Dan Gusel hits his 2nd home run of the season. It's 5-0. Five runs on the board for the Fighting Saints in the top of the first inning. 2 straight solo home runs. And the Fighting Saints have been hitting the ball hard all inning. A couple of misplays out in the field started this whole rally off, but even those misplays were balls that were struck well. And a meeting on the mound before Alex Milcars, the number 8 batter of the inning, stands in. What a start for the Fighting Saints, who again have been red hot. Winners of 4 in a row. And 6 of their last 8. They got off to a shaky start to this season and didn't play well at the outset of conference season, but they're 9-7. And a long way to go, obviously, in this game, but at least they've put themselves in good shape early to pick up their 10th conference win of the year. They're into the top half of the CCAC now, and they're really not that far off from making a run towards the top. Ball one low on Alex Milcars. There's a lot of parity in the CCAC this year. There has not been a dominant team. So might be a long shot right now for St. Francis to move all the way to the top of the conference. They're certainly in the mix along with 5 or 6 other teams. That ball's grounded up the middle. Backhanded stop by the second baseman Gomez. His throw to first retires Milcars and the Fighting Saints in the first, but not before they score 5 runs on 4 hits, a couple of homers from Pappas and Gusel. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis 5, Trinity coming up. Bottom of the first inning, Trinity International is coming to bat for the first time, trailing 5-0. Big start for St. Francis today, and now Sam Pileggi takes to the hill to try to keep this thing rolling the way it has and get his offense back out there quickly. Julius Torres, the right fielder, leads things off for the Trojans. He swings at the first pitch and smashes a single to center field. Good start for Trinity. Let's take a look at the numbers for the starting pitcher. Sam Pileggi making his 9th start of the season, a team high. He's 1-1 with a 4.05 ERA. In 33 1/3 innings, he's allowed 22 runs, 15 of them earned on 29 hits, with 34 strikeouts and 19 walks. Pileggi has been spotted a big advantage. We'll see if he can hold it, as Torres starts off with a base hit and puts a man on very quickly for Trinity. Blake Lazares steps in next and swings through strike one. Lazares is a .276 hitter, 2 homers, 19 RBIs for the year. Pickoff throw to first, and the runner dives back in safely. With the runner on the move, Lazares fouls it back behind home plate. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Trinity International comes into today's game with a better overall record than St. Francis. They're 15-20 so far this season. The Fighting Saints are 14-23. But while the Saints have turned things up when it's mattered most, Trinity has really struggled during conference play. Ball high on Lazares, 1-2. The Trojans are just 3-13, sitting in last place right now in the conference. Trying to turn things around. Runner on the move once again, swing and a miss, strike 3. The throw sails into right center field. No further advance. Torres stops at second base. It is a steal. Blake Lazares strikes out swinging, 1 away in the bottom of the first inning. For Julius Torres, that's the 29th stolen base this year. So a man in scoring position for the Trojans for the first time. One away, and the batter is Jonathan Kumai. Kumai is the shortstop. He hits the first pitch to the shortstop on St. Francis. A diving knockdown from Brian Hidalgo, but he can't make a play on the ball as it rolls out to left field. It's a base hit for Kumai, and fortunately for the Saints, Hidalgo got back up after his dive quickly enough to chase that ball down and keep the runners from moving up any further. Kumai stops at first with a single. Torres moves to third base, and he halts there. But a good scoring chance for Trinity here. Runners at the corners and only one out. Already a 5-0 lead for St. Francis. That brings up the DH, Ethan Escroba. Escroba's hitting .239. 1 home run, 14 RBIs this year. He swings at the first one and pops it behind home plate. That's out of play. Up onto the roof. Strike one. Tries to check his swing on the second pitch. He can't hold up. It's 0-2. Just underway here. It's already 5-0 in favor of the Fighting Saints. Check swing, or excuse me, a foul tip right into the catcher's glove. Strike three, and Sam Pileggi has his second strikeout of the first inning. The runner at third base and less than 2 outs. That strikeout was huge. And it brings up Riley Murphy. Pileggi came in averaging a strikeout per inning pitched. He's already got 2 this inning. He misses outside. 1-0 on Riley Murphy. Murphy's a .284 batter. Hasn't taken one over the fence this year, but he does have 4 extra base hits. He's driven in 15 runs. And he can pick up a big 2-out RBI here. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hidalgo gets in front of it, slips, throws from his backside, and gets the force at second base. Murphy grounds into a bizarre fielder's choice, 6-4. Nicely played by Hidalgo. Lost his footing, but didn't lose his concentration. And he gets the out. Trinity does not score in the bottom of the first. We've played one complete here at Dooley Health and Care Field. 5-0. St. Francis on top. St. Francis leads by 5 early on. Jake Vera steps in. Lead off the top of the second. Swings to the first pitch and shoots it into the right center field gap. Coming over to cut it off is the center fielder Brady Popovich to hold Vera to a single. But a nice start to the inning for the Fighting Saints, who now already have 5 hits in the ball game. And we roll back around to the top of the order. Alex Martinez hits for the second time. Martinez flew out to right field to get this game started. Looked like Charlie McTammany was going to be off and running. He misses on a breaking ball here and plunks Martinez in the shoulder. 2 pitches into the inning, and already the Saints have 2 runners on base. You retire the leadoff man in the first. You feel good on your way to bigger and better things, and he hasn't been. McTammany hasn't gotten a lot of help from his defense behind him, but he himself has struggled as well. Gave up a triple and a couple of home runs in the first inning. And now, as previously stated, he's allowed 2 runners on base on just 2 pitches this inning. Here's Nate Maliska, bunting the first pitch foul, strike 1. Maliska was in the box for the start of all the trouble in the top of the first inning. He had a sinking line drive to the right side of the infield. A tough play for the second baseman Gomez, but a ball that hit his glove. He wasn't able to catch it. And Maliska eventually came around to score the first of what would become 5 runs in that inning. There's a bunt to the left side, barehanded at third base by Murphy, and he throws it into right field. Jake Vera comes in to score. Alex Martinez around third base. Martinez scores without a play. Maliska heads to third and slides in safely. It's 7-0 Saints. Now I'm trying to think about how to score that play. I'm guessing it'll be a sacrifice, maybe a single. Probably a single. Let me put a hit up on the scoreboard. So it'll be a single and then a 2-base error. So Maliska did his job. He reached base. Doesn't get credit for any RBIs, even though 2 runs scored on the play. They both scored as a result of the error. And now there's a man at third base. Nobody out for Eric Maffey. Maffey takes ball 1. Eric Maffey hit a towering fly to left field in the first inning. Blake Lazarus backed up on it. Ball hit his glove, couldn't pull it in. Turned into a 2-base error. McTammany's 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Action down the left field line. Just moments ago, Trinity International got a right-hander up and loosening. Let you know who it is as soon as I catch a number on him. 2-0 on Maffey. Screamer through the left side of the infield and an RBI base hit for Eric Maffey. 8-0. Maffey drives in his 44th run this year. And his big week continues. He's been on base twice today.
Designated hitter number 12, Josh Kernbauer.
Here's Josh Kernbauer, the DH. Kernbauer hit a 2-run triple his first time up. Later scored a run. Maffey is on the move. The pitch is a ball. Throw to second is not in time. So Maffey's done a little bit of everything of late. He's been hitting for a lot of power. And now he flashes the speed as well. 8th stolen base in 9 attempts this season for the senior Maffey. He didn't waste any time there, going on the first pitch from McTammany. 1-0 on Kernbauer. Next pitch misses low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. McTammany falls behind another one. He hasn't walked anybody yet. He has hit 1 batter. He's fallen behind just about everybody, and he's thrown more balls than strikes so far in this appearance. An inning plus into it. Still nobody out in the top of the second inning. There's another base hit for the Fighting Saints. Kernbauer drops it into center field. Popovich comes up throwing. His throw is cut off. The run scores, but now they've got Kernbauer in a rundown between first and second base. And Kernbauer is safe at second. He dove in underneath the tag. So Trinity did everything right on the play from center field. They cut it off, and they caught Kernbauer into what seemed a sure first out of the inning. Kernbauer just moved up to third base. Trinity went to sleep on the play. Nobody covered third, and so Kernbauer took off. This is getting ugly for the Trojans. They couldn't handle a rundown, and then nobody stood at third base, so Kernbauer just kept going. It's a single for him, his third RBI of the game. He goes to second on the throw, and now the umpires are going to get together to determine whether or not Kernbauer does belong on third. Maybe there was a timeout called before he advanced, and they agree there was no time called. So he's at third. That's kind of like stealing a base, but it will not officially go down as a stolen base. It's the exact same idea. He had one base on a hit, and then he just kept going. Brian Hidalgo steps in for the second time, takes ball one. Hidalgo's 0 for 1 with a ground out. 9-0. Already 4 runs are in this inning. All 5 batters to come up have reached base. 4 singles and a hit by pitch, and there's a 5th hit of the inning. Hidalgo lines it into right center, an RBI single as Kernbauer crosses home plate. 10-0, St. Francis leads. And this is just not slowing down. 6 consecutive batters have reached base. Saints sent 8 men up in the first inning. Gio Pappas is the 7th batter to come up here in the second. Pappas is 1 for 1, homered in the first. This time he hits a foul ball to the right, strike 1. Tough outing for Charlie McTammany. That right-hander is ready down in the bullpen if they decide to make the switch. Pitch in the dirt. Runner takes off and makes it in safely. A wild pitch allows Brian Hidalgo to advance. So there's another man in scoring position. And a 1-1 count on Gio Pappas. .44 pitches so far, 22 balls, 22 strikes. Pappas hits a chopper to third base. Picked up cleanly by Murphy. This time his throw is accurate over to first. And the runner holds his position, 1 away. Nice job by Trinity International to get the big first out. And now Dan Gusel comes up. Runner at second base. 1 down. 5 runs already in this inning. Ball 1 on Gusel. Gusel homered his first time up. He and Gio Pappas went back-to-back, not in that order. One and 0 count, and he takes inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Aaron Malone is warming up in the bullpen. He's the guy who's been throwing for TIU. We'll see how much longer Shane Gardner sticks with the struggling freshman Charlie McTammany. Chopper to third. Picked up cleanly by Murphy. Throw to first is just in time. He really took his time to make that throw. At first he was just looking Hidalgo back to the bag, and then it looked like he was struggling to get the ball out of his glove, but it was the catcher running down the line. He's able to record the out. 2 away. And it's Alex Milcars. Gusel's just determined to do whatever Pappas does. Pappas hit a booming home run to left field in the first inning. Gusel hit a booming home run to left. In the second inning at bats, Pappas hit a 2-hopper to third. So did Gusel. Alex Milcars hits a line drive base hit into left. Hidalgo around third base and across home plate. An RBI single for Milcars, the 6th hit of the inning for the Fighting Saints. And our score is 11-0. Milcars drives in his 6th run of the year. Jumped on the first pitch from McTammany. And here's Jake Vera, who did the same. He jumped on the first pitch this inning. Singled and later came in to score. Ball 1 inside on Vera. 10th batter of the inning. Saints have 10 hits already, 11 runs on the board. 1-0 is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Milkars is at first base, takes a short lead, swing and a foul tip. Vera will stay in the box with a 2-ball and 1 strike count. Game 1 of a doubleheader here today. 7 innings for the opener. Game 2 will go 9. St. Francis trying to win their 5th and potentially their 6th consecutive games. Getting late in the season now, just a couple weeks away from the conference tournament. Ball inside, 3-1 on Vera. This is just the time of year you want to start to play your best ball. Hope to carry it through. That tournament starts 2 weeks from this weekend. With the runner going, it's up high, ball 4. Is it 3 weeks from this weekend? It's 3 weeks away still. I was thinking first weekend of May was coming up sooner than it is. That'll do it for McTammany. Surprisingly, that's his first walk. He's thrown more balls than he has strikes in this outing. That was his first walk after allowing 10 hits. And with 2 runners on base and 2 outs in the top of the second, we've got a pitching change. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a moment, tell you about the new pitcher, and get you the conclusion of this inning. 11-0. St. Francis has the lead. Aaron Malone is the new pitcher for Trinity International, trying to get out of what has been a lengthy second inning. Alex Martinez is the 11th Fighting Saint to come up this frame. He was hit by a pitch earlier this inning as he takes strike 1 from Malone. Overall in the game, Martinez is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field, beginning the ball game. This is just the second appearance this year for Aaron Malone. He did not allow any runs his first time out in 2/3 of an inning. He faced 3 batters, walked one of them, and struck the other 2 out. So nobody's put the ball in play yet this year against Malone in very limited action. He's trying to keep his ERA flawless. 1-1 the count on Martinez, with Alex Milkars at first base and Jake Vera at second. 2 outs in the frame. Martinez takes a strike. It's 1-2. Six runs are already in this inning. All 6 of those, or rather 5 of the 6 runs scored with nobody out. And then Charlie McTammany got a couple of groundouts in a row before walking Vera to chase him from the game. Martinez hits a base hit into left field. Milcars is waved around third base. No throw made by Trinity. It's an RBI single for Alex Martinez, and that makes it 12-0. First hit, first RBI of the game for Martinez. Jake Vera pulls up at second base on the play. And so we're right back where we started here. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. But now one further run is on the board for St. Francis. Charge that to Charlie McTammany. Nate Maliska takes ball 1 outside. Maliska's 2 for 2 in the game. A couple of singles, a couple of runs scored. Bunted his way aboard earlier this inning. Runner at second base belongs to Charlie McTammany. Runner at first is Aaron Malones as Maliska flies it into left field shallow, racing in Lazarus. He gets to the spot, makes the catch, and ends the inning. What an inning it was. 12 batters came to the plate for St. Francis. They scored 7 runs, and they lead the game now 12-0 on our way to the bottom of the second inning. Bottom of the second inning, Trinity International has their work cut out for them. They trail at 12-0. And they come to bat for the second time today against Sam Pileggi, who worked a very quick bottom of the first inning despite allowing a couple of hits. Jimmy Cisneros leads things off here and takes strike 1. Cisneros, Soria, and Popovich are due up against Pileggi, who gave up a pair of singles but struck out a pair of hitters and stranded runners at first and third in the bottom of the first inning. Ball outside, 1-1. Jimmy Cisneros is the catcher for Trinity International. He's a .225 batter, 9 RBIs on the year. Couple of extra base hits. Trying to start a rally. He fouls back the next one, 1-2. Always deflating to be down by this many runs early, especially in a 7-inning game. Trinity International is already working against the clock to try to get these runs back and make a game out of this as Cisneros fouls it away, 1-2. Aaron Malone came in the top of the second inning. Got out of trouble. He did allow one more run to score after he entered, but he was able to retire the side. Grounder to third base here. Picked up cleanly and thrown across the diamond for out number 1. Alex Martinez over to Nate Maliska. Leadoff batter is retired. 3 in a row set down by Pileggi. And that brings up the first baseman, Christian Soria Navarro. Soria's hitting .231. 6 runs batted in this year. Pileggi sets for the first pitch. Popped up, foul behind home plate, strike 1. We've seen swings early in the count from TIU hitters. I don't know if that is them trying to work their way back into it quickly, or if Pileggi's just been around the strike zone consistently enough that they've been tempted early on. Soria fouls this one back. It's strike 2. But so far it's played into the pitcher's hands. He's thrown a lot of strikes. And he's gotten some good results, having retired 3 straight hitters, 4 of the last 5. Ball high, 1-2. Pileggi has occasionally exhibited control problems this year, but I don't know the exact words Brian Mahalik said to him, but I would guess the message here is to throw strikes. And so far he's done that as it's popped out to shallow left center field. Coming on and missing it is the center fielder Maffey, and it ends up rolling out to left center and allowing Soria Navarro into second base with a double. Looked like miscommunication there more than anything. Maffey is the one who reached out, tried to make the catch. Jake Vera pulled away from it, so I'm guessing Maffey was calling for it out in left center, but he didn't get close enough. Vera seemed to be in better position to make that grab. Ended up dropping in between the two of them and rolling a little bit further out to left center for a 2-baser. So a runner in scoring position for TIU for the second time today. Both times they've had that runner on with less than 2 outs. First pitch swinging, Brady Popovich pops it behind home plate. Another early swing in this at bat, but it lands in the seats for strike 1. You got a 12-run lead early. The last thing you want to do is walk anybody, and with that in mind, Pileggi has gotten ahead of just about everybody he's faced so far today. A lot of first pitch strikes these first 2 innings. Popped up, shallow right. Gio Pappas comes in and makes the grab. Soria does not advance beyond second base. 2 outs. That'll be up to Alfonso Gomez.
Number 24, Alfonso Gomez.
Gomez is hitting 167. 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's one of only 2 Trojans this season with more than 1 homer. Blake Lazaris also has 2. Gomez is the number 9 hitter for Shane Gardner, and he swings through strike 1. Soria Navarro's at second thanks to a 1-out double. Pileggi misses outside, 2-0. This is his first 2-ball count of the game. Oh, never mind, it's 1-1 right now. So this is not his first 2-ball count, not yet at least. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2. And now Pileggi is 1 strike away from ending the inning. He's got a couple of Ks already today, 2 of them in the first inning. Now trying to pick one up in the second as well. 1-2. Chopper foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. A lengthy start to this game thanks to all the offense from the Fighting Saints. 12 runs, 11 hits, no errors. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Trinity. Technically the home team in today's game. Another foul ball hit by Gomez. Came in with a low batting average, just 167. But he is doing very well to keep this at bat alive. Solid on base percentage, by the way, in comparison to that batting average. It's at 283. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. Third strikeout of the game for Pileggi, and he pitches around the 1-out double. The Trojans leave a man at second base. On our way to the third, 12-0, Fighting Saints. Top of the third inning, already a big lead for the Fighting Saints.
Third inning.
They lead it 12-0 as Eric Maffey, Josh Kernbauer, and Brian Hidalgo get set to hit for the third time each. We're only in the third inning. First time they've seen Aaron Malone, though. Malone on for his second inning of work after getting the final 2 outs last frame as Maffey hits one hard out to center field. It rolls to the warning track and skips against the wall. Maffey heads to second base. A leadoff double. Brady Popovich left a huge hole out in right center field. He was shading him to left. Ended up working pretty well for the Saints. Maffey has his second hit of the game. The first extra base hit since the first inning. St. Francis had 7 hits in the second. And all of them were singles. 16th double of the year for Maffey. He not only leads the team in extra base hits, he leads the team in doubles, triples, and home runs, each individually as well. Ball 1 on Kernbauer. The Saints have hit the first pitch of the inning. Each of the last 2 frames and gotten hits out of them. Ball 2. Josh Kernbauer has not been retired. 2 for 2 with a single, a triple, a triple, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Two and 0. Inside and low. 3 balls and no strikes on Kernbauer. We've seen 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 1 error allowing base runners to reach. Three and 0 on Kernbauer. This would be Malone's first walk. Not quite yet. Over the inside corner, strike 1. There's a long way to go in this game, so the Trojans have to figure out how to get some outs quickly. That might be a good way. Popped up on the infield. Second baseman Alfonso Gomez is under it, right around the bag. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That's the big thing right now, just prevent any further damage. It's still early enough in this game that no matter what the score is, you feel like you've got a hope. But down 12 runs in the second inning is not very encouraging. So certainly they've got to keep it where it is right now if they want to have any chance. Brian Hidalgo flies into right field. It's deep, but it looks to be playable for Julius Torres, who pulls up right at the edge of the warning track and makes the catch. Maffey advances to third base. It's a fly out for Hidalgo.
Right fielder, number 30, Gio Pappas.
Here's Gio Pappas. 1 for 2 with a solo homer and a ground out. This would be the first inning in which St. Francis did not score. If they don't score here. First pitch to Pappas comes in behind him, 1-0. Pappas hit a towering home run in the first inning. Grounded out to third base in the second inning. Third inning, third at bat, you know something's gone pretty right in a game when that happens. Swing and a miss, 1-1. One on, one out. Pappas doesn't need a hit to get the run in here. Trying to make it lucky number 13-0. Pops it out of play. 1-2. I just noticed it looked like Trinity made some defensive changes this inning. That's Alfonso Gomez behind the plate right now instead of Jimmy Cisneros. Breaking ball low and in. 2-2. Gomez started the game at second base. He's behind the plate now. Dylan Lloyd is the man at second. As far as I know, those are the only changes, but I'll keep my eyes open. 2-2. Ball inside, full count. Runner at third with 2 outs. Pappas is the Fighting Saints' last hope this inning. He was ahead 3-0, now it's 3-2. Line out to left field. That's a fair ball inside that foul line. Another extra base hit for Gio Pappas and another RBI as he stops at second base. Pappas brings home Maffey, 13-0.
Catcher number 25, Dan Gusel.
Here's Dan Gusel. Second hit of the game for Gio Pappas. He homered in the first. Now he's RBI'd on a double in the third inning. And Dan Gusel gets his third chance at bat. Gusel takes a slow ball for strike one. Through his first 2 at-bats, Gusel has copied exactly what Pappas has done. We'll see if he can line a double down the left field line too. 0-1 from Malone, who has now allowed his first run of the season. Just missed high, 1-1. Malone came out of the bullpen last inning and got the third and final out. He has struggled starting his own inning here in the third. Ball in the dirt. 2-1, and Gio Pappas advances to third base. He was not going with the pitch, but he took off quickly when he saw that ball hit the dirt, or the fake dirt anyway, behind home plate. Good base running. There's the man at third base with 2 outs in the third. Malone's next pitch hits him on the arm, just barely grazed Gusel going by. But that's enough. Dan Gusel heads down to first base after getting skimmed on the arm. They're at the corners, and Alex Milcars is the 6th batter of the inning. Milcars is 1 for 2. RBI single and a run in the second inning. He grounded out in the first. The scorecard is becoming a little messy. At least 7 batters have come to the plate in every inning thus far. Swing and a miss. Took something off of that one. He had Milcars way out in front of it. A good pitch from Aaron Malone. No balls and a strike, and before the next pitch, Alex Milcars steps out of the box. A ball is called. 1-1, so we got a violation against the pitcher there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aaron Malone is the second pitcher of the game for Trinity International. He hasn't been perfect since coming in, but has only allowed 1 run so far as Milcars tries to add to it with a fly ball to center field. That's playable though. Brady Popovich backs up, puts it away, and ends the inning for St. Francis. This time they scored just one run on a couple of hits, and as we head to the bottom of the third, our score is St. Francis 13, Trinity International nothing.
Leading off the Trinity.
Bottom three, Trinity International trying to put a dent into this big deficit they face. 13-0 after 2.5 innings. Top of the order here for the Trojans. Julius Torres leads things off, swings at the first pitch, pops it up foul to the left side, and it lands on the lawn. Foul ball, strike one. Torres has swung at the first pitch in both of his at-bats today. Last time he put it in play and led off the Trinity offensive half of the game with a single. He's 1 for 1 with a stolen base. Stranded at third, though, back in the bottom of the first. Strike called, 0-2. You have to adjust your eyes to figure out why the team wearing gray is the home team. Don't worry. They'll switch to the away team for game 2. 0-2. Just off the outside corner. 1-2. This series was scheduled with Trinity getting 2 home games and St. Francis getting 1. Due to the forecasts, today became a doubleheader. Bouncing ball down the first base line. That's a foul ball. Still 1-2. So that instead of playing 2 here today and 1 in Deerfield tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, that is what they're doing. It was supposed to be 1 here today, 2 in Deerfield tomorrow. And instead it's 2 here today, and Trinity will host 1 game tomorrow afternoon. So for the first 7-inning game, Trojans are the home team. For the second 9-inning game, the Saints are. Ball high, 2-2 on Torres. If you're Trinity International right now, that second game probably can't come soon enough. Which is not to say they're going to mail it in here the last 5 innings of game 1. Ground ball up the middle. Torres proves my point by reaching base for the second time today. A single to center. I'm sure they would like to put together a good offensive attack over these last 5 innings. Maybe make a run at winning this thing, or at very least making it look respectable with a good rally at some point. Just the same, when you're down 13-0 in the 3rd inning, I'm sure there's part of you that feels like, let's start over in game 2. Ball 1 on Lazares as Torres steals his second bag of the game. 30 stolen bases on the season for Julius Torres in 34 attempts. He wastes no time taking off. There's a swing and a fly ball out to deep right center field. That's off the wall. Torres will come in to score. Lazares into second base. It's an RBI double with nobody out. It's now a 13-1 ball game in the bottom of the 3rd. TIU's done a little hitting today. That's 5 hits in the game, including a couple of doubles. So it's not as though they have been completely shut down when they've been up, but when your opponent has 13 runs on 13 hits through 3 innings, it tends to overshadow whatever you've done. Jonathan Kumai stands in, checks his swing, and taps it back to the pitcher. Pileggi will let the runner advance to third as he flips over to first base for the out. It worked like a sacrifice bunt, which is not at all what Kumai was trying to do. When you're down 12, you tend not to give up outs intentionally, but I think the Trojans will take that result. At least he did advance the runner with only one out. And there's enough time left in this game that if the pitching can turn around for Trinity, their offense can still chip away. They don't need to get big chunks back right now. Here's Ethan Escoba, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Escoba has, for the last couple of years, been one of the best pitchers on the Trinity International staff. DHing today as he swings and misses. It's 0-2. Pileggi has 3 strikeouts today. He could use one here with this runner at third base. Swing and a miss. The bat goes flying into the Trinity dugout. Hopefully everybody's all right down there. It's a strikeout. Escoba goes down swinging for the second time today. 4 strikeouts for Pileggi, 2 outs. And Lazarus still stuck at third base for the moment as Riley Murphy comes up to bat. Murphy came up with a runner at third and 2 outs in the first. Wasn't able to get that run home. There's a swing and a chopper to second base. Charging it, Milcard's gloves, throws to first, and ends the inning. That was Max Ament actually batting rather than Murphy. The result is the same, a 4-3 ground out. And after back-to-back hits to begin the inning, Pileggi retires 3 in a row to end it. We've played 3 out of 7, 13-1 our score. Three innings in the books, 13-1. St. Francis leads Trinity International as the Fighting Saints come to bat for the 4th time. Top of the order for the 4th time. Jake Vera will lead things off. Actually, so it's 9-1-2, not the top of the order. But Vera takes ball 1 to get us going in the 4th. Aaron Malone still on the mound for TIU. Malone pitched the last inning, gave up a couple of doubles, but just the one run. Outside, 2-0. The first 12 runs in this game were allowed by Charlie McTammany. 9 of the 12 were earned against him in an inning and 2/3. 2-0. Vera takes outside. Jake Vera has already reached base twice today. Singled and scored in the second, walked also in the second inning. This is his third at bat, and then Alex Martinez will bat for the fourth time. Ball 4. Vera is aboard for the third time today. And the leadoff man reaches for the third consecutive inning for St. Francis. Already in pretty good shape in this game. We'll try to add a few more for good measure in the fourth. Alex Martinez has been involved in a couple of rallies. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the early second inning, and then late in the second inning, he drove in a run himself on a single. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Martinez swings at the first pitch, flies it into center field. This is playable for Popovich, who backs up and makes the grab. 1 away. Quick out recorded by Malone that time. After a 4-pitch walk, he recovers quickly, and he'll face Nate Maliska with 1 out and 1 on.
First baseman, number 31,
Nate Maliska is 2 for 3. One of those hits was a bunt single. He's scored 2 of the 13 runs today for the Fighting Saints. 13 runs on 13 hits, no errors for St. Francis. 1, 5, and 2 for Trinity International. With this big deficit, the Trojans have made several defensive changes, giving a few additional players a chance in the lineup. We saw Max Ament come up to bat last inning. He's playing at third. Called strike over the outside corner. 0-1 on Maliska. Told you earlier that Alfonso Gomez, who started at second base, is now catching. The shortstop right now is Luke Zielig, freshman reserve infielder. And if I notice any other changes that have been made, I'll bring them to your attention. Inside on Maliska. 1-1. I think that's Seth Llewellyn currently playing first base, where Christian Soria Navarro started. Ball outside, 2-1. So Shane Gardner may have made just wholesale changes. Addison Hickman is in right field. Julius Torres was in right. He's in center now. So Torres is the guy who made that last catch. There's a ground ball to second, flipped over to second base for 1. Zielig's relay throw is in time. A double play hit into by Maliska, and the inning is over. Nice work by Aaron Malone in the fourth. For the first time today, St. Francis has held off the scoreboard. Halfway through this game, 13-1, Fighting Saints. It's been all St. Francis so far. They lead this game 13-1, but Trinity's taken a little momentum away. They scored a run here in the bottom of the third and then quickly got through the top half of the fourth without anybody scoring. And so now we move into the bottom of the fourth inning. And the first man up for Trinity this frame is Dylan Lloyd. Lloyd takes ball one low. This is Jimmy Cisneros' spot in the batting order. Cisneros was removed a little while ago. Popped up, foul behind home plate. It's out of play for a strike. Still trying to wrap my head around all the lineup changes that Trinity International has made. I'm going to do my best to let you know who's batting and who's playing in the field, but they have made quite a few shifts over the last couple of innings. Lloyd takes strike over the outside corner, 1-2. So first at bat of the game for Dylan Lloyd. He's 0 for 4 this year. Just the 10th appearance of the season as he pops it foul to the right side. Will this one stay in play for Miliska? Over in front of the seating area. He's out of room. It lands about 3 rows up. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Seth Llewellyn is the man on deck. So that one was a straight change. He came in for Soria Navarro at first base, and he'll bat in Soria Navarro's spot in the order. 1-2 on Lloyd. Ball high, 2-2. I was talking last inning about the fact that if you're Trinity International, you're still certainly trying offensively, but there's a part of you that's thinking, let's just get to game 2, start fresh with a 0-0 score. Soft liner into left field. Vera comes on hard, slides and makes the catch. Nicely done by Vera. 1 away. Well, by making all of these changes the way that Shane Gardner has, and he's made them sooner than you would typically see, making all these defensive changes in the 3rd and 4th innings. But by doing so, he has given his young team something to play for. Seth Llewellyn pops up the first pitch foul in front of the Trinity dugout and over the Trinity dugout, out of play. Strike 1 on Llewellyn. Seth Llewellyn is a sophomore from Mississippi. He's hitting 195 this year, 2 RBIs. Couple of extra base hits on the season. Choppered on the first baseline. That's a foul ball. Strike 2. So he's got a lot of freshmen and sophomores in there now. And you know that they'll fight to the end just because they don't get as many chances as some of the starters did. So they're going to do whatever they can to keep this game alive. They don't necessarily get the chance in game 2. Hard hit grounder right side and out of the reach of a diving Nate Miliska at first. It's a base hit for Llewellyn. 6th hit of the game for Trinity International. They've been putting the bat on the ball. Obviously, it's a big deficit for them right now, but even down by 12 in the 4th inning, they've got 6 hits. That's a pretty solid total for this stage of the game. So a man at first with 1 out. Let's see who this batter is for Trinity. First pitch swinging. He flies it out to left field. Vera backs up. Jake Vera is able to put away the fly ball from Addison Hickman. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. Llewellyn returns to first base. So that was Hickman, the right fielder, batting in the 8th spot. That was previously occupied by center fielder Brady Popovich. Here's Alfonso Gomez. Gomez is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He swings and misses. Julius Torres, who's had a big game already, is on deck. Pileggi trying to get through the end of this inning to face him in the 5th. Ball 1 high on Gomez. There's a high fly hit out to shallow left center. Maffey tracks it in. Eric Maffey makes the grab. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left on base. We'll go to the 5th inning. Our score is St. Francis 13, Trinity International 1. After 4, it's 13-1 St. Francis. They come out for the 5th with Eric Maffey. Josh Kernbauer and Brian Hidalgo due up against Aaron Malone. Malone's been good so far. In 2 innings and a third, he's allowed just 1 run and kept this thing from getting too far out of hand. He'll face Maffey for the 2nd time. Eric Maffey doubled off of him. First time they met up. This time he fouls back the first pitch, strike 1. Maffey hasn't been retired today. 2 for 3, a single, a double. He's reached on an error, and he has scored all 3 times. If you mark down the defensive positioning for Trinity International at the beginning of this game, throw that out. Pretty much nobody is still at their original positions. And a couple more changes have been made. Maffey takes a ball inside, 1-1. Trevor Schmidt is now behind the plate. That had been Gomez the last couple of innings. Jackson Schutzenhofer is in left field. I'm not sure if he was out there last inning. I didn't notice him. Ball outside, 2-1. And that spot in the order hasn't come to bat in the last couple of innings, so I'm just going to say for my benefit for right now that Schutzenhofer's a new left fielder. Torres is in center and Hickman is in right. That's your outfield defense right now as that ball's fouled past third base. 2-2. On the infield, it's now Max Ament at third base. He's been there the last couple of innings. Shortstop is Luke Zielig. He's been out there for a few as well. Dylan Lloyd is at second base and Seth Llewellyn is at first. None of those players started the game. 2-2. And there are 3 balls and 2 strikes. So I believe right now the only starter who's still in the game for Trinity is Julius Torres, who started the game in right field and is currently in center. Payoff pitch. Up high, he walked him. It's a leadoff walk. And the Saints have a man aboard. The leadoff hitter has reached base in 4 out of 5 innings. This is the 2nd straight inning in which it's happened on a walk. 2nd walk issued in the game by Aaron Malone. Here's Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer is 2 for 3, a single, a triple, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. New base runner for the Saints, Matt Montgomery, replaces Eric Maffey. Swing and a miss from Josh Kernbauer. So St. Francis may be starting to go down that same path that Trinity International has already gone, resting some of the starters late in a blowout. The 0-1 is popped up on the infield, right along the first base line. It's the catcher Schmidt making the grab. Kernbauer is retired. One away, and the batter will be Brian Hidalgo. Hidalgo is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Everybody in the St. Francis batting order has reached base at least once. In fact, everybody's got at least one hit. Saints as a team have 13 of them. 7 out of 9 players have reached base at least twice. And both Eric Maffey and Jake Vera have been on 3 times apiece. 1-0. Inside, ball 2 on Hidalgo. Malone, who had only thrown 2/3 of an inning this season, coming into play today, has struggled a little bit with his control these last few innings. So did his predecessor, Charlie McTammany. 2-0 is flown out to right field. Well hit, but playable. Hickman backs up and makes the catch. 2 down. Montgomery returns to first base, and Gio Pappas will be the batter. McTammany threw more balls than strikes in his inning and 2/3. Despite that, he didn't walk anybody. He did hit one batter, but he didn't walk anyone. Malone has hit one batter and walked 2, but none of those have come back to haunt them. None of the 3 free base runners against Malone have scored. Gio Pappas swings to the first pitch, flies it out to deep left, all the way back to the warning track, just in front of the wall. That's gone. Second home run of the game for Gio Pappas, who had 1 this season coming in. He's tripled that total. And St. Francis's lead is now 15-1. Couple of 2-out bombs for Pappas, 1 in the first, and now 1 here in the 5th inning. And for the first time since entering the game, Malone is burned after walking somebody. With 2 outs in the inning, the batter will be Dan Gusel. Thirteen RBIs now, make that 14 RBIs on the season for Pappas. That's his 4th today. Has an RBI double to go along with his 2 home runs. 1-0 on Dan Gusel, who has also homered in this ball game. He's 1 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. The 1-0 from Malone. Over the inside corner. That's a strike, and the count evens at 1. Gusel fouls it back. 1-2. Alex Milcars is on deck. But if Malone can retire Gusel here, we'll move into the bottom of the 5th. Popped up, foul right side, that's out of play. Still 1-2. Malone is 1 strike away from ending the inning. But he misses high on Gusel. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on base. The Gio Pappas home run cleared the bases and makes it 4 out of 5 innings in which the Fighting Saints have scored at least 1. Malone has now allowed 3 runs in his 2 innings worked. Misses inside, 3-2. 3 innings worked, by Aaron Malone. 3 runs in 3 innings. He also allowed 1 inherited runner to score. Ripped out to left field, and another base hit for Dan Gusel, all the way out to the wall on a couple of hops. Gusel heads to second base and makes it in standing up. His second extra base hit of the ball game. 15th hit of the day for St. Francis. They've out-hit the Trojans 15-6 and have a 14-run lead. Ethan Fleming, freshman pitcher, goes out to second base to run for Dan Gusel. Typically, Max Montgomery is the designated courtesy runner. Montgomery checked into the game for Eric Maffey already this inning, so he can't run. Alex Milcars is usually the number 2 pinch runner, but he's in the batter's box right now. So it's Fleming running at second base. Milcars takes strike one. Alex Milcars is 1 for 3. He drove in a run on a second inning single, later scored, batting for the 4th time. He takes the 0-1 pitch low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Malone checks the runner at second, the 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to third base. Played cleanly by Ament. The throw to first is in the dirt. Llewellyn can't pick it. And Alex Milcars is aboard on the air. 3rd of the game against Trinity International. And this 5th inning continues. Here's Jake Vera, who has not been retired today. Vera has singled and walked twice. Chance for an RBI if he can reach base for a 4th time. Ball 1 outside. So that's now 3 times in this game that a Fighting Saint has reached on an error. They've been given 2 walks and 2 hit batters, and they've got 15 hits of their own. Fly ball to left center field. Torres on his horse, can't get to it. It splits the left center field gap. This will score 2. Hustling around second base, Vera goes for third, and it's a triple. Vera reaches base for the 4th time today. It's his 2nd hit of the contest. His first 2 RBIs. It's now a 16-run St. Francis lead. Give Jake Vera 13 runs batted in for the season. Alex Martinez will be the 8th Saint to bat in the 5th.
Number 3, Alex Martinez.
Those 2 runs both unearned against Malone as the inning was allowed to continue on the throwing error from Max Ament. Now Martinez hits a hard one-hopper to the shortstop. Nice play by Zelig, who fires over to first and ends the inning. Not before the Saints cement this lead. 4 more runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. On to the bottom of the 5th. The lead for the Saints is 17-1.
Leading things off, number 1, Julius Torres.
Top of the order for TIU in the bottom of the 5th inning. Julius Torres takes ball 1 outside. Torres is the only starter still in the game for Trinity. Started in right, playing center now. He's 2 for 2, a couple of singles, a stolen base. And he's got the only run scored for the Trojans today as he takes strike 1. Jackson Schutzenhofer is on deck as Torres smacks one into right field. Pappas comes in, nearly overran it, but able to reach up and make the catch for the first out. Nice recovery from Pappas. Made it a little bit more difficult than he would have liked, but he made the play. And the leadoff batter is retired. First time that Torres has been retired today. Here's Schutzenhofer. He takes ball 1. Sam Pileggi has gone the distance for St. Francis. Hasn't run into too much trouble. He misses low for ball 2. Handful of base runners for Trinity today, but they haven't been able to do a whole lot with them. 6 hits they have today. Swing and a miss, 2-1. 4 singles, 2 doubles, but they have not been helped out by the Saints at all. No walks, no hit batters, no errors. Popped up behind home plate. Out of play, 2-2. Five runs in the first for the Saints, 7 in the second, 1 in the third, none in the fourth. Seemed like the Trojans were starting to get a grip on this game as that ball is lined to third and caught cleanly by Alex Martinez, 2 down. Solid contact from Schutzenhofer, but to no avail. Here's Luke Zelig. He takes ball 1 upstairs. After it looked like the Trojans had finally put a lid back on top of St. Francis's offense, the Saints break out for 4 runs in the 5th. Called strike 1 to even the count. Matt Montgomery stayed in the game. Montgomery pinch ran for Eric Maffey last inning. And he sticks in center field, so he'll bat in the 3rd spot in the order the rest of the way. He'll be due up 2nd in the top of the 6th. 2 outs, nobody on. 2-1 count. Strike over the outside edge, 2-2. Pileggi has struck out 4 today, looking for number 5. He's got it. Chased one downstairs, and Goosel applies the tag. Zelig is retired. It's a 1-2-3 5th inning. First perfect inning for either side today. We'll go to the 6th. 17-1 St. Francis. 2 innings still to play in the game, 11 innings still to play in our day. A doubleheader here at St. Francis with the Fighting Saints leading the opener 17-1. We start the 6th inning with Quinn McGuire in the batter's box. McGuire pinch hits for Nate Maliska and swings through the first pitch, strike one. Aaron Malone's doing yeoman's work for Shane Gardner today, eating some innings. They haven't all been great innings. Pitched well through the 4th, putting a 0 on the scoreboard. Overall, he's allowed 5 runs in 3 1/3 so far. 3 of those are earned. That's fouled back by McGuire, 0-2. First at bat of the day for Quinn McGuire. McGuire on the season is hitting .217 with a homer and 2 RBIs. He takes a ball up and in, 1-2. St. Francis today has had at least 8 batters come to the plate in 3 of their 5 innings. So we're already on the 5th time through the batting order, even though it's only the top of the 6th. McGuire takes ball 2. McGuire, Montgomery, and Kernbauer are due up. Actually, Maliska, Montgomery, and Kernbauer were due up. McGuire's pinch hitting here as this is popped foul and out of play. Still 2-2. So there's a chance we see a pinch hitter for Kernbauer as well. Both teams have emptied the bench. Trinity International almost completely has emptied the bench. Of their 9 starters, 8 of them are out of the game. And the Saints have started to follow suit the last couple of innings. Two and two. Swing and a miss. Malone has his first strikeout. And the leadoff batter is retired in the 6th inning. First time the leadoff batter has been set down since the 1st. Matt Montgomery is hitting .196 this year. 1 extra base hit, 4 RBIs. This is his 57th at bat of the season. He chases the first pitch outside for strike 1. St. Francis swept Judson in a doubleheader on Sunday. They swept Indiana South Bend, or Saturday rather. Swept Indiana South Bend in a doubleheader on Tuesday. Strike called on Montgomery here, 0-2. Now they're on the verge of taking game 1 from Trinity International. It would give them a 5-game winning streak, their longest of the season. Over the head of Montgomery, 1-2. Game 2 on Tuesday. They beat IUSB 10-9, which makes this the 2nd time in a row that the Fighting Saints have scored in double figures. They've done it 3 times in 7 games. Ground ball to the shortstop. Grabbed cleanly by Zelig, who throws to first to retire Montgomery. 2 down. It will not be Josh Kernbauer. So, as I surmised a little while ago, we are getting a pinch hitter. It's the sophomore Isaac Milovich. And Milovich will try to avoid a 1-2-3 inning. Milovich is hitless so far on the season. 0 for 6. He has walked 3 times. And true to form, shows a little patience here, taking the first pitch. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Next toss from Malone. Check swing. It's over the inside corner, a strike, and that evens the count, 1-1. A lot of guys who don't usually get playing time are getting playing time today. Milovich is getting his 7th at bat of the season. Ethan Fleming, who typically is a pitcher, was used last inning as a pinch runner. Fly ball out to deep left, but well foul, 1-2. Matt Montgomery sees a lot of action, usually just as a pinch runner, though. Today he got a chance for a 6th inning at bat, grounded out to the shortstop just moments ago. Now it's Milovic with a 1-2 count, bounced in. Consistently amazed by the number of M names on this team. Pinch hit for McGuire, or for Meliska with McGuire, and Montgomery for Maffey. Now it's Milovic, so the first 4 batters in the order all start with M's, and 3 of them replaced other players, 2 of whom started with an M. Ball inside, 3-2. I guess that's not that interesting, but I'm just always amazed by it. Alex Milcars is in the lineup a little bit later. Brian Mahalik one day, if he wanted to, could make a lineup of all M's, but I don't know if he would do that just for me. Payoff pitch hits him in the side, and Milovic reaches first base with 2 outs this inning. So Milovic reaches once again. He's still hitting .000 on the season, but now has an on-base percentage of .400. 0 for 6, but with 3 walks and now a hit by pitch. This will not be Brian Hidalgo. It'll be Hector Carrillo batting in the 5 spot in the order. Hidalgo's day is done as Carrillo takes ball 1. Presumably it's done. I suppose he could come back out and play the field. Hector Carrillo's hitting .214, 11 RBIs. He smokes a line shot into left center field. Base hit for Hector Carrillo, the first hit of the inning for the Fighting Saints. They've got 2 on, back-to-back 2-out base runners. And Gio Pappas has a chance to do some more serious 2-out damage. He came up with 2 outs last inning, launched a 2-run homer, his 2nd of the game. Overall today, 3 for 4 with a double, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs. And he is one of the few guys who gets to bat for himself here. Brian Mahalik has made a lot of switches in the batting order, but Pappas remains in, playing right field, hitting in the 6th spot, and looking for his 4th hit today. He ropes one out to left field. That's a foul ball, strike 1. It's already a 16-run lead for the Fighting Saints. They're just 6 outs away from a win, so they don't really need to pour on a whole lot more. But if Pappas can help it, they're not going to slow down. Ball low, 1-1. Dan Gusel is on deck, so apparently he'll bat for himself as well if we get down to the 7th spot in the order. One and one. Liner to right center field. Another hit for Gio Pappas, his 4th of the day, and it rolls all the way to the wall. He'll add to his RBI total today as well. Milovic scores. Hector Carrillo scores. Pappas hustling for 3rd. He's safe. Close play at 3rd base, but Pappas dives in just ahead of the tag. 19-1 St. Francis, and Gio Pappas has had a monster day. 4 hits, and now he's got 6 RBIs. And he's just a single shy of the cycle. Chances are good he won't bat again. But, you know, this is one of those games that makes you realize that a cycle is just kind of a silly novelty anyway. Less than an accomplishment. He could have the cycle, but instead of having a single, double, triple, and home run, he's got the double, triple, and 2 home runs. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who doesn't think that's better. Meeting on the mound here. There's a righty throwing in the bullpen for Trinity. Trying to get a good look at who that is. I think maybe Caden Monin. I'll leave Malone in for now. Malone recorded 2 quick outs this inning. He struck out McGuire. He got Montgomery to ground out. But then hit by pitch, single, triple. And we continue with the inning as Dan Gusel swings and misses strike 1. Goosel's had a big day, 2 for 3 with a double and a homer. He hasn't had quite the run-producing day that Gio Pappas has had, but that's in part because Pappas has kept clearing the bases in front of him. Throw to third base. Nobody was covering the bag. Max Amet had to run over just to catch that ball. No chance to apply a tag. 19-1. There have not been a lot like this for St. Francis this year. Popped up out to shallow left, foul territory, being chased by a couple of Trojans, none of whom reach it. Lands in between the third baseman, shortstop, and left fielder. And it drops for a harmless strike on Dan Goosel, 0-2. Season high in runs scored for the Fighting Saints is 11. This is the fourth time, make that the fifth time this year that they've scored in double figures, but of the previous 4, again, 11 was the highest, and the other 3 times it was all 10. I take that back. I'm looking at their schedule. They did have one other game. They scored 16, so this is still the highest, but not by as wide a margin. Goosel takes the ball inside, 1-2. They scored 16 in a game early this year. They beat Lyon College out in Arkansas 16-5. That was almost 2 full months ago on February the 18th. Ball 2, the count is even on Goosel. 19 runs, 18 hits in today's game, and when you put up that kind of offense, you almost lose track of the fact that it's been a really well-pitched game as well, well-played defensively. Pileggi has only given up 1 run, no errors behind him. Ground ball to the shortstop. Zelig's throw to first pulls Llewellyn off the bag, but he applies the tag. Or did he? Sure looked like he did. The umpire made the call safe at first base. But it appeared that Llewellyn applied the tag on Goosel going by. If this call stands, it'll be an error, safe at first, and a run scores, but they reversed the call. He is out. 6-3 on the putout, and the inning comes to a close. We've played 5.5. Trinity International will come to bat in the bottom of the 6th, trailing 19-1. It's been all St. Francis today, a 19-1 lead over Trinity International. The Trojans will get 2 more chances against the St. Francis pitching here of Sam Pileggi, who's been excellent. First pitch is a swing and a miss from Ozzy Delgado. I believe this is the second at-bat of the game for Delgado. Hitting in the DH spot. He pops it foul behind home plate and out of play, strike 2. I had Ethan Escoba batting last time up in the 3rd inning. This is Escoba's spot in the batting order, but I believe that was Delgado then. And again now. So he's 0 for 1 with a K. This time he puts the bat on the ball, floats it down the left field line towards the foul pole, or fouled line, I should say. And it drops just wide of that line in foul ground. Strike 2. 0-2 on Ozzie Delgado. Delgado is a senior, transferred from Highland Community College. 0 for 3 on the season, including his third inning strikeout today. Last 5 batters have all been retired, and 9 of the last 10 by Pileggi, who had to pitch around trouble pretty consistently early in this game. Ball high, 1-2. Generally did pitch out of that trouble. He allowed 5 hits in the first 2+ innings, but only 1 since. Again, 9 of the last 10 have been retired. Prior to that, 5 out of 11 had reached on hits. 2-2 on Delgado. He'll be followed presumably by Max Ament and then Dylan Lloyd, unless they make a few more changes down the stretch here. Ball upstairs, full count. 8 out of 9 spots in the batting order have flipped for the Trojans today. Delgado strikes out swinging. Pileggi got ahead of him 0-2, nearly lost him, but he comes back to get him swinging. 6th strikeout of the game. And Max Ament will hit with 1 out and nobody on. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to second base his first time up. He takes ball 1. Pileggi quickly going back to work. Ball high, 2-0. Both bullpens are empty right now. Aaron Malone has made it through 4 1/3 innings now for Trinity International. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Caden Monin was warming up last inning, so he may be ready to go and take over in the 7th inning. Or we could see Malone for another one. Fouled back, 2-2. St. Francis's bullpen is empty. Pileggi's pitch count starting to get up there a little bit, but hasn't shown any signs of concern as far as his pitching so far in this game. So Brian Mahalik will ride with him for as long as he can. Just missed, ball 3. Full count. One out, nobody on. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Max Ament goes down looking. He's 0 for 2. Back-to-back strikeouts. It's actually 3 in a row going back to last inning. 7 in the ball game. Here's Dylan Lloyd. Pileggi has not thrown a complete game this year. He's 4 outs away from doing so today. Dylan Lloyd takes a strike over the outside corner, 0-1. Upstairs. That evens up the count. Second at bat of the day for Dylan Lloyd. Lloyd lined out to left his last time up. Jake Vera robbed him with a nice sliding catch. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2, and Pileggi will try to strike out the side. 2 outs, nobody on. 1-2 on the right-handed hitting Lloyd. Playing right field for Trinity. He takes ball 2 to even the count. This will be the 18th pitch of the inning from the senior right-hander for St. Francis. And it's the last pitch of the inning. Got him swinging. A 1-2-3 frame, 4 straight strikeouts for Sam Pileggi, and the St. Francis domination rolls through the 6th. 19-1 our score with 1 inning to play. One inning to play at Dooley Health and Care Field. St. Francis leads it by 18 as we move into the top of the seventh. And Sean Mahalik leads things off for the Fighting Saints, pinch hitting for Alex Milcars against Austin Malone, Aaron Malone rather, whose first pitch is fouled off for strike one. 8-9-1 in the batting order this inning. Mahalik leads things off as the pinch hitter. On the season, he's hitting 125. That's 1 for 8 at the plate. He has 1 RBI, and now he's got 2 hits on the year as he smashes a base hit to left field. Leadoff man is aboard for the Fighting Saints on their 19th hit of the game. So just about everybody has been replaced in the St. Francis batting order now. Cody Nold will get an at-bat in place of Jake Vera. Nold is 1 for 2 this year. Primarily a pitcher over the course of the season, just like Sean Mahalik. Nold takes ball 1. Trying to count the number of players we've seen in this game. I can't count that high. I have to take my shoes off. Ball downstairs, 2-0. Amazingly, we've only seen 3 total pitchers in this game. Pileggi has gone the distance for St. Francis and apparently will stay on the mound to try to pick up his first complete game of the year because there's nobody throwing in the Fighting Saints bullpen right now. Aaron Malone is just the second man used by the Trojans in this game. Bounced foul by Nold, 2-1. The starting pitcher was Charlie McTammany. He lasted an inning and 2/3, gave up 9 earned runs, 12 total. And it's been Malone ever since. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings so far, and he's given up 7 runs. 5 of them have been earned. There's a ground ball to short. Zelig flips it over to second for 1. The relay is in time. That's a double play. And the bases are empty with 2 outs. 6-4-3. This will not be Alex Martinez. We'll get another pinch hitter. This is Ethan Fleming making his second appearance of the game. Fleming came on as a pinch runner earlier. And now as a hitter, he gets his first at bat. And Fleming swings through strike 1. Third at bat of the season for Ethan Fleming. He's 0 for 2. Strike called. The count goes to 0-2. Malone looking for something resembling a 1-2-3 inning. He faced the minimum one other time today thanks to a double play in the 4th. Now trying to do it again here in the 7th inning. The 0-2 to Fleming. Inside, nearly hit him. Ethan Fleming pitched one of his best games of the year just 3 days ago on this field. 5 innings, 1 run. Took no decision in an eventual 10-9 win over Indiana South Bend. Not trying to make his mark as a hitter. Freshman stands and awaits the next pitch and fouls it back. Coming into this one, Trinity International had won 3 of their last 4 and 4 of their last 6 games. So they've been playing some of their best baseball of the season, but not so far this afternoon. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The inning comes to a close. No runs for the Saints for just the second time today. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. 19-1, St. Francis leads. Seth Llewellyn leads off the bottom of the 7th inning for Trinity International. Trying to mount just one last rally to make this game look a little bit better as Llewellyn smashes one into center field. That's a base hit, his second of the ball game, and the first hit for Trinity since Llewellyn singled in the 4th. The 7 spot in the batting order has gone 3 for 3 today for Trinity International. Sam Pileggi had retired 9 in a row. He had struck out 4 consecutive batters, but both of those streaks come to a close as Llewellyn singles to lead off the 7th, and Addison Hickman takes ball 1. Hickman is an .073 hitter for the season. He swings and misses, 1-1. He's 0 for 1 in this game, flew out to left field, taking over the 8th spot in the batting order. In the 4th inning, he drives this one deep to left field, but foul and out of play. 1-2. Well, probably safe to call Gio Pappas the player of the game for St. Francis today. He had 4 hits, a couple of homers, 6 RBIs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down in the 7th. And in a game when you score 19 runs on 19 hits, the player of the game would have to be an offensive player, but Pileggi's not far behind. He's had a really nice ball game today. Fouled away by Schmidt for strike 1. Trevor Schmidt bats for the first time. He came on defensively in the 5th inning. The 3rd catcher of the game for Trinity International. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Schmidt is 5 for 22 this year. That's a .227 batting average. No extra base hits. He's got a pair of RBIs. And he lofts one into right field, dropping in front of Gio Pappas. That's a base hit. Second of the inning for Trinity. Llewellyn advances to second base. Schmidt has his 6th safety of the year.
Now batting.
And they're at first and second with only 1 out. 8 hits in the game now for the Trojans. And a new pinch hitter for Trinity. This is Diego Lopez batting for the first time. So all 9 starters now officially have been replaced. So if I'm counting right, not including pitchers, that's 19 players used by Trinity today. Lopez takes a strike, 1-1. I might not be counting right. I think it's only 18. I think if you include pitchers, it's 20. 18 batters in today's game for the Trojans. Lopez takes a strike, 1-2. And for St. Francis, I've got 16. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down. The last 6 outs have all been on strikes. And that's 10 in the game for Sam Pileggi, who's now 1 out away from wrapping up this 18-run victory. Last man standing in his way is Jackson Schutzenhofer. Schutzenhofer takes ball 1 high. So not including pitchers, if I counted correctly, we've got 34 different players who have appeared in today's game. 34 different guys have gotten at least 1 at bat. There's a fly ball out to left field. This should end it. And it does. The catch is made in left, and the ball game comes to a close. Final score of 19-1. St. Francis jumped all over Trinity early with 5 runs in the top of the 1st, and they never looked back. Rolling all the way to their biggest victory of the season, their largest total, or their largest win by runs, I should say, was 11 runs coming into today. They win this one by 18, a really impressive performance for their 5th consecutive victory. And the Saints will get a chance to make it 6 wins in a row in just over a half hour when we kick off Game 2. Saints scored 5 in the 1st inning today. They came in part thanks to back-to-back home runs from Gio Pappas and Dan Gussel. They also got a 2-run triple from Josh Kernbauer. They added 7 more runs in the 2nd inning when they sent 11 men to the plate and picked up 7 singles in the inning. An RBI double from Gio Pappas in the 3rd inning extended the lead further, and Pappas went deep for the second time in the fifth. A 2-run shot. All in all in the game, he had 4 hits, including 2 homers and 6 RBIs. Jake Vera hit a 2-run triple in the 5th inning, and Pappas hit a 2-run triple in the 6th to make it 19-1. The only run for Trinity International came on a 3rd inning RBI double from Blake Lazares. That's all she wrote for them. Complete game victory with 10 strikeouts for Sam Pileggi. Pileggi, with that win, improves to 2-1 on the season on his first complete game of the year. In fact, first complete game for any St. Francis pitcher this year. For Trinity International, taking the loss, Charlie McTammany allowed 12 runs, 9 of them earned in an inning and 2/3. McTammany falls to 2-2 on the year. That's going to do it for this broadcast. 19-1 our final score, but I won't be gone long. Right around 5:45 Central Time, we'll have the start to Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Game 2 will be a 9-inning contest, and the Saints will be looking for their 3rd consecutive doubleheader sweep. That's just about a half hour away. For right now, though, Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Talk to you soon.